Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Myself Vasant, an undergraduate from mechanical engineering. Today we are going to look into the concept of addition of two forces or two or more forces. So first, I like to explain how to represent force as a vector. So there are two quantities which are basics: scalar, which has only magnitude, for example mass and length. So when we state a mass of a body, we only state the value. We won't state along which direction its mass is so and so. So what I state here is mass is only scalar quantity which has only magnitude. Similarly, we face a quantities which need to be defined completely by expressing its magnitude and direction. For example, here force and position. I like to explain with position what is a vector. For example, if I want to define the position of this point P in this so-called uh, I consider region, so I have to express this position. So how to express this position? Well, I take a reference with respect to this point O. So I draw a line connecting these two. So this is the direction along which I need to move to reach P. So not only this direction completely define position of P, but also how long I have to move. Let's take a scale. Here 1 centimeter the distance. So in order to reach the point P, let's take I need to travel 4 centimeters. So it needs the position of this point P. To define this position, I need to specify the direction and magnitude. Similarly, I take a case here, force. That's what we are going to discuss. So in order to define a force acting at the point O, I need to express the direction or line of action along which force acts. Not only that is needed, I need to indicate the magnitude of the force. So let's take here 1 kilonewton is equal to this much distance. So I draw a force vector. So let's take 4 kilonewton force acting. So I will represent that by drawing a arrow of length 4. So by that and indicating this arrowhead, I represent its line of action, the direction of force. So with this only I can completely define force acting at point O. So force acting at point O needs both magnitude and the direction to completely define the force. So I express how to represent force as a vector. Now we are going to see how to add two vectors. So for example, you can see here there are two vectors A and B. So resultant of this two vector is A plus B. It's easy, it's collinear. So I can just add. So let's see a situation this is generalized for a vector. I take example as the position of P1 is represented by this green vector. Similarly, the position of P2 from P1 is represented by this blue vector. So the resultant should have the combined effect of these two. That is, the resultant should represent the position of P2 from O. You can see it's obvious it represents. Similarly, if I have two force, you can see here two force, the combined or the addition of this force should express the resultant effect of this two. So 5 Newton plus 5 Newton, the resultant of this is 10 Newton. It's obvious. So this way of addition is easy for collinear. So you can see the next case here where our two forces are not collinear. It acts along two different arbitrary direction. So but we know the direction along which this A vector and B vector acts. So how to find the resultant of this two vector A plus B? So there are two theorems that explain how to find the resultant of these two vectors. First, I like to explain the graphical way of solving this problem. So the parallelogram law states that if these two vectors are acting, so I have to combine these two vectors at a concurrent point like this and completing the parallelogram by drawing parallel lines that for example parallel to a vector and parallel to b vector. So after completing this parallelogram, the diagonal represents, or this diagonal is the resultant of this a plus b. Similarly, triangular law states, so first I have to draw a vector. From the head of the vector I have to attach the tail of the next vector. So completing this triangle, the closing side gives me the resultant. These are two laws that gives us the solution to add two vectors a b which does not have same line of action of force. So this is what law states. Let's check whether this law is correct or not. So first, as like previous case, I take position of this point P is defined by this 2, the distance d and the orientation theta. So similarly, I take a case here, P1 is defined by this first vector. Similarly, P2 from P1 is defined by this second vector. So the resultant of this 2, that is this 2 vector, you can see here, the resultant is by our parallelogram law, or you can see here I have applied here triangular law. From the head of the first vector, the tail is attached, tail of the second vector is attached, and the closing side. So let's see whether this, by triangular law I have drawn this resultant, whether this resultant express the combined effect of these two vectors. So first you can see here these two vectors, the combined of these two vectors, that is these two vectors combinedly represent position of P2 with respect to O. You can see it's obvious that this resultant also express position of P2 from O. So you can see here triangular law is acceptable, or it gives the desired result of adding two vectors. Similarly, let's take a force vector here. So there are two forces that is acting. So I represent these two force vectors, and I perform this parallelogram law. So I complete this parallelogram, or I complete this triangular law. Both are really more or less the same. So what I come up with is a resultant by this method. So if you want to check whether this force addition is acceptable, this method of force addition is acceptable, not like the previous case of position vector, we can judge by our idea, or we can easily accept it directly, but here we need to do an experiment. For example, let's take the spring. If these two force acts, let's say, you can see here there is a vertical deformation of the spring. So that vertical deformation of spring represent the resultant of this two force acts along vertically downwards. Similarly, you can find the magnitude of this force by this displacement value S. You can we have already discussed spring force is proportional to the displacement. So this gives me a value of resultant from an experimental output of these two forces. So let's check whether this experiment value have agreement with our ideology of law. I am applying triangular law here. So you can see here the triangular law accepts. So we have to do an experiment and find this whether they are acceptable or not. Similarly, if I take the same for a same resultant, I find another two combination of forces that can be. You can see here I'm completing this triangle by for example, what I state here is I know the resultant value which acts downwards. So what two force that is capable of producing this resultant? There are infinite possibilities. We can draw this triangle and complete this triangle. I arbitrarily draw these two sides and I express these two sides as a force vector. So knowing this value, if I take I redo the experiment by applying these two forces which I have just found, the result will be same. So what I state here is this law is acceptable for force vector addition. So as I stated here, just we have discussed is graphical procedure for solving. Analytical way of solving this situation is, we know we complete a parallelogram by drawing the parallel sides. So two sides of a two angles of parallelogram is known, other two can be found. So you can see here, this is what triangular law. You can see this is a special case or a certain portion of a parallelogram just we have expressed. So solving for the C, there are two laws of triangle. You can see we have formed a triangle, so the laws which are applicable to triangle can be used here. So in order to find, if I see this as a triangle, there are two sides A and B and an angle C is known. If I want to find the length of the third side C, you can easily solve by this method. But here this triangle is a force representing the force vectors, so force vector A and force vector B. So solving for the third side C gives me the force vector C, that is the resultant. So similarly, if I want to find, I can see here I indicated all green because I have found or solved for C, so I express all in green. If I want to but we know only this angle, so if I want to solve for other angle, so I can use this formula, sine law, to solve for other angles A and B. So this way we can solve, or we can add two vectors to find the resultant. So let's take another case here. Not only adding two vector is what we face as we discussed previously. You can see here this force has to resolve into two forces which acts along Fu and Fe. Why we need to solve it along this U and V? So resolving along U gives me how much amount of force. Let's say resolving along U is Fu. That amount of force has to be held by this link. This link has to sustain that much amount of force. Similarly, Fe defines that amount of force this link has to sustain. So as I said, I know this side. So this side, this is the first case. I can see by drawing a parallelogram, this F express the diagonal details of this diagonal. So I am completing this parallelogram. As I know the direction of the sides of the parallelogram, I can complete this parallelogram and I can solve for these forces Fu and Fe. Similarly, for the next case, you can see here one side of the triangle is completely known and all the angles are known. So it's easy for us to complete this triangle. This completion actually represents these forces which we need, Fu and Fe. So you can see here the graphical way of drawing forces as a triangle. The triangle has to be closed. That's the important thing. The closed triangle is easy. It's easy to draw a closed triangle knowing certain pieces of information. So with that idea, we manipulate to solve for the forces we need. So let's take a case here. We want to add several forces, not two forces, but you can see here three forces. We can apply this for n number of forces. So what I do is, first I take the two forces F1 and F2. So I complete the parallelogram, or you can go with triangular law, anything. So I complete this and I solve for this F1 and F2. So this is known, F1 plus F2 is known after this. So I take this F1 plus F2 vector and add this vector with F3 vector. So doing another parallelogram, I can solve for this resultant, that is F1 plus F2 plus F3. So this way I can add n number of forces by this idea. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe my channel to see the updates.